20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Dale Earnhardt will come to the caution flag to win the Daytona 500. Finally.
Third-generation star Dale Earnhardt Jr. brings him to the flag. Checkered flag waving. It's over. It's Earnhardt.
He's going to do it. He's going to win the race and the NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship. California's Kevin Harvick does it.
You are the 2014 Sprint Cup champion.
The 24-year-old from Dawsonville, Georgia, is about to join his father, Dawsonville, in elite company. Chase Elliott is a NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Ah! Ring that sign, boys! Yes!
And the 1991 winner of the Daytona 500 is Ernie Irvan, the Morgan McClure Chevrolet.
Good Sunday afternoon, everybody. Clean Air Show. Phil at PLS29. AJ over there, One Lug TV. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Watkins Glen today, bro. Awesome. I love Watkins Glen. It's one of my favorite places to actually watch them race, just because like road racing to me is huge. From the 90s, days of Ernie Irvan, Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin, Ricky Rudd, these guys beating and banging at Watkins Glen and Sonoma. I mean, just you can't go wrong, man. So how's everything going for you today, AJ?
Bro, good. You've mentioned all the old times like Riverside and all that, man. Too bad Riverside ain't around no more.
That track, like, to me, looks so technical, but like to touch on a topic here, and it's probably going to hit a few hearts. We have really good road courses around. I mean, they're going back to Mexico this year, which everybody bitched about, but I love it. I mean, give us a little variety. Like the Roval's cool, but you can only do so many adjustments to that track. You know what I mean? Like, I think the ones they made this year are big. It's just not, it's not it. But you've got tracks like Sebring. You've got Laguna Seca, dude. Laguna Seca with Cup cars would be absolutely insane in the corkscrew.
You imagine them running that Michigan Street course?
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
But even that, the Indy cars, I mean, make a deal where you go travel around and team up. Dude, the amount of people that would show up for a street course with Indy and NASCAR together, think about that.
You imagine they did a double weekend at Nashville?
On the street course and then to the oval
course. Yep.
That'd be awesome, dude.
Bro, you could literally play it out to where 1 week you're on the street course with IndyCar, have them come back the next week for the super speedway. You can literally have a 2-week event where you're in the same state and you can have both series going on.
Didn't Indy do that? Didn't Indy do the road course 1 week and then the next week was the oval or something like that a couple years ago or 2 years ago?
I think they did a weekend with the truck series.
I believe so. I can't remember.
I think it was the truck series. Was it Milwaukee? They did with the
I
series?
know they've done Milwaukee, but I know like just recently they did like a road course race at Indy on one day and then the next day was right to the oval. Back to back, I want to say.
I'm trying to look it up because now that I'm thinking about it, wasn't it Indy? They both did the road course the same weekend.
I think so.
Oh,
I think so.
man.
They ran one Saturday, one Sunday, I think. I might be wrong, but so a couple things while we're sitting here talking, a couple things we are going to touch on just a little bit to give us a little pre-show of what we want to touch on. Number one, we're idiots and didn't do our picks for last week.
I would have picked Kyle Busch. I told you that.
I know, and I took Reddick. So, I mean, we got so distracted and everything else, but now, bro, now we got those intros out of the way. We can just sit here and ramble. And I'll tell you, AJ's
already in here.
Old Tristan Cotton.
Old T-Cot.
What's up, buddy?
Smells like 358 CI EFI V8 engine.
But like Hamlin strategy for last week, one big thing we want to touch on today. That's a huge, I mean, did it work out in his favor? I don't think so. I mean, he still ended up junk at the end, you know?
You're not going to sit here and bullshit me telling me that your whole goal going into that race was to get 20 points and just ride around the back. The car was shit in qualifying. The car was shit in the race. And then he still ended up wrecked at the end anyway. Shout out BJ McLeod though.
Yeah, dude, that video was hilarious. So you're telling me that the charter negotiations aren't having any effect on any of this?
They could be. They could be. Little conspiracy theory. I mean, well, some people might laugh at us for saying that, but I think they kind of are tied in.
It's just funny, dude. It's really weird that, that happens and now nothing,
Tristan already moving on. He wants to see.
We're touching on that. I'm not impressed so far, but I'll give him a shot. I was really looking forward to it, in all honesty. Like,
shout out Harrison Burton for qualifying better than Juan Pablo Montoya.
So then we got other things we want to touch on today. The Bowman stuff. I've heard a few new ones this week, a few new rumors too. And the dominating, I'm not going to call it dominating because he didn't lead a lot of it, but it should have been dominating. Stupid penalty, but a fair penalty, in my opinion. Caused a lot of confusion in the race, and we'll go over that later on too. Lots of good stuff coming up today, but also want to give a shout out. So today, funeral for one of my buddies. This is this side. This is one of my circle track cars from about 12 years ago. My buddy James, big influence on me. He passed away this week suddenly. So rest in peace to him. And they're doing his funeral up in New York today. So thoughts and prayers with his family, and they're going through some rough times. So just let them know I'm with them. And happy birthday to my 15th kid.
Your 15th kid.
Happy birthday to my kid. Happy 15th birthday to my kid. Jesus, man. Let me drink to that. Holy hell.
You got that many kids running around there?
How about I know?
Ian is one of your kids, don't you?
Ian's my little brother. But no, we got some good stuff planned today. And then like we did last week, fire off the hip. Back and forth. I got some cool stuff I want to talk about. I sent AJ this week. I want to do I don't know how to do it. Like the way I proposed it to him, like fun facts from Phil, basically. It's something that maybe people don't know a lot about in the sport. So this week I found a really cool one pertaining to, I'm not that bad, bro. I don't joke that much. Come on now.
Who's the dude from the Jets that had like 20 kids?
Oh my God, dude. So we'll touch on that this week. It's a cool Watkins Glen fact that I found that very little known that I didn't even know it. I found out watching a YouTube video this week and then looked it up to actually find it as fact. So it's a pretty cool thing. So we'll touch on that a little bit, but where you want to start off, bro? Where we want to get into? You want to recap last week?
Bro, I mean, let's recap last week. Thanks, Tristan, Antonio Cromartie.
Yeah.
We already talked about last week. Austin Hill won the Xfinity race. So then we went to the Cup race where old Joey Logano, every other year Logano gets the win to move on to the next round. That's a little wild at the end. Things
pretty
that brought
calm
up
race other than
cautions
that though. I mean it was, yeah, you had a few big moments here and there, but for the most part it was a pretty calm, decent race. I mean, not as much movement as I would have liked to have seen, but they were definitely moving.
For NASCAR to get the result they want from Atlanta, which was basically when they first introduced this new layout to the last race where they had the 3-wide finish, you're almost going to have to repave it every other year.
Mm-hmm.
Because once this track ages like no other, it's going to go.
Or they're going to have to, like, I hate to say it because everybody hates it. You're almost going to have to PJ1 it.
Yeah.
If you don't want to pave it, just PJ1 the whole track.
Yeah.
They get equal grip all the way across.
Because you're coming into a point where it's going to start racing like old Atlanta again, just with higher banks, which isn't a bad thing for me, who's a Atlanta purist and all that. Like that's great. I love the way old Atlanta was. I like the way new Atlanta is. This last race was like such a mix between the two. Nobody could get runs. Leader gets out in front. No one behind him's getting around him. The battles were in the middle of the pack more so than they were in the front.
They said the dirty air was absolutely unreal. And like once the leader got out into clean air, the car just handled. You were just riding at that point. But if you were up behind, either the car would, as we saw with Larson, the car would just get ungodly loose and take off. And I mean, dude, I was honestly worried when I saw that wreck.
Bro, I'm just going to take a page out of your dictionary here. Old Larson stepped on the pee-pee.
He did 100%. But in his defense, dude, like as quick as that thing took off, like that was bad. Like that was, I was honestly worried about his well-being, knowing the track record of the car with the angle and how quick he hit. And at first, I didn't even realize Briscoe was there. Like I didn't see any of that at first, and then all of a sudden, I saw his car just destroyed.
I thought Briscoe Arca break the fuck out of that.
You know what that wreck reminded me of?
Which one?
Remember back in the day when Johnny Benson spun at Charlotte and rolled back down the track, and I think it was Ricky Craven or somebody KO'd him like that?
Yes.
And it ripped the whole side of the car off. Like, I mean,
we just watched that video a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but same situation. Like, I mean, I don't think Briscoe did anything wrong, because if you watch from his onboard, you can't see a damn thing in front of him. I mean, it's nothing but smoke. So, I mean, Larson at that point was just sliding. So, as a guy who is spotted for a car, there's not a whole lot you could do in that point. Just kind of find a gap and hope you go,
bro.
Yeah.
He was here, and then it was boom right into the wall. Tristan asked, does the tire compound they use now have any effect on how the track's wearing so quickly? I don't think so, because if you've ever looked at an overhead shot of Atlanta, that track 100% of the day is always baking in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
You mix that with summertime rains and all that stuff, all that material settles, starts cracking, starts breaking. NASCAR's also not the only series that races at Atlanta. You have multiple race events going on nonstop throughout the year there. It's not like a lot of these tracks where it's just NASCAR, it's just IndyCar.
But here's the thing with Atlanta, though. You know, a lot of their stuff, though, does not include the whole track.
Right.
Most of their stuff they run during the year, like the Legend Car stuff and Bando stuff and stuff like that, they stay just on the front stretch. And I think a lot of that is effect. Like you think about Charlotte runs, I think, SCCA now. So there's always road racing and stuff going on there.
And Charlotte's aged nicely.
Correct. Yeah. And then you've got, think about Daytona. I mean, Daytona is, what do they do on the track at Daytona? Absolutely nothing.
They do IMSA.
But I mean, like throughout the year, you got SCCA.
Throughout the year, yeah. And they do some of the, they do a lot of the driving experience stuff there.
Yeah,
true. Throughout the year. Those things aren't putting down the power.
No, but I mean, there's something always on that asphalt. There's always something moving. I think that's a big part of it is like, I don't know if it's an engineering thing. This is way beyond my pay grade. It's just something I'm thinking, but like, think about it. If you have a road that is unused, think about it in the back roads of Northport.
Mm-hmm.
You have a road that is unused all the time. What happens to that asphalt?
Starts cracking, starts breaking.
It's broken up. It's not driven as much. It's not packed down. It's not, it's not as well used. Where I think if you have some of these other tracks that are raced on frequently and constantly by whether it's road racing, motorcycles, whatever, something driving on that track at a constant, I think is huge for these racetracks.
Right. I go back to, remember when they used to take the big skid loader out there? They used to drag the track with old tires.
Yep.
I almost want to see what would happen if they did that before they did the PJ1, where they rub that shit all the way through each corner and see if it kind of helps the balance of the cars. It's not as
like the rubber. You mean to rubber the track up first and then PJ1 over top?
Yes.
I mean, I could tell you we've done it in the short track world. I mean, local tracks here use a traction compound all the time. 417. You know how dark black that whole surface was?
They had that track dialed in.
So that was not a PJ1 style compound. That was actually a painted on compound.
Oh, really?
So the hotter it got, the slicker it got. So that was more heat reactive than what like a PJ1 compound would be, where PJ1, like they run PJ1 and similar like Showtime, Auburndale. It's a drag strip compound.
Exactly.
So that stuff is
such
so
a sweet
sticky
smell too.
Oh yeah. But if that stuff is on the ground, you can't walk in that stuff. Your shoes are coming off. Like you're stuck. Like when these guys say if they get out of that a little bit, it's done because it's that big of a change in traction. But like the stuff we used at 417, it was just in the right area. And during the day, I could tell you most of the time you'd roll in, you'd get a couple laps of practice, you'd park your shit and make sure it was good because you weren't learning nothing.
No.
You know, you were just chasing your ass because that stuff was so hot and so slick. But once it got hot and cooled off, once you hit that cool off period, that's where it really kicked in. So I think on restarts, that stuff being, there's 40, 38, whatever cars out there, they're going to be getting that heat in it, but it's not the same. I think you're going to see a bigger emphasis if you PJ1 everything versus PJ1 in one lane. You're going to have more racing because that grip's going to be equal, and these guys are going to be driving the balls off up against the wall, on the apron, in the middle. You're
creating another lane.
You got to, honestly, that's the biggest thing they got to do is they've done it at Bristol when they did the bottom lane.
Oh, dude, they kind of ruined Bristol in a sense.
They did.
The progressive banking sucks.
So that started the first year I was there. And the race I was at was actually the year that Stewart threw his helmet at Kenseth on pit road.
Dude, dead nuts on too.
Dead
right
on
in the middle of the Ford
I've always
logo.
wanted to do that. I've never thrown a helmet. I threw a
of
race
all the
receiver.
things you've done.
I've thrown a race receiver. I've thrown some punches, but I've never thrown a helmet. I came close one time. And then I was reminded how expensive that damn helmet was and put that bitch in the car. We don't do that around here. I was
Sound like Ward Burton. I wish I had something I could have shot through the window. Oh, man. But yeah, like the thing with 417 too, you almost learned more in qualifying than you did in practice about how your car handles.
Yes and no. I mean, it was so hard. So I'll go back when Josh Williams' dad on the track was when I had this car right here. Mm-hmm. So this was 2012. Me and my dad got this car in like December of 2011, built it over like a 5-month period. The two of us in a 1-car garage, Harbor Freight welder, bro, like no bullshit. But they used this car as a demonstration because of how safe it was. Like that's one thing in racing. We never screwed around. Like the fuel cell bars, everything in this, like we had an issue. We had somebody get killed actually the same year, and they used this car as demonstration because people had their fuel cells like sitting in there, but
can't have that.
No, but we rolled out with this car, and this was the first car we really built ourselves. Like we got it, had a cage in it. It was there, but we had to do everything else. So back then we were on a Goodyear race tire. So the tires on this car are a 7-inch wide tire on an 8-inch wide wheel. So you're stretching them, you're making them skinny. But they lasted. You could run 4 or 5 races, but the race I won with this car, I won 1 race with this car, and it was down there, and I bought tires before the feature. There's no heat race. There was nothing. So I had no heat cycle on the tire. I had nothing. Well, we were switching from Goodyears to Hoosiers. Let me tell you, those Goodyears were absolutely on point for 25 laps, bro. Like that track back in the early 2000, I'd say late 2000s, early 2010s, when that track was big and Gentry packed it, but like Kevin Williams there'd be 30, 40 late models. We had 30 freaking 4-cylinders, I see him. I know.
Those cars probably tuned the fuck up with a NOS bottle hidden somewhere.
Listen, I have never, okay, let me rephrase that. Hold on. I have only one time ever been thrown out in technical inspection, and I knew I was getting thrown out before I got there.
What'd you do?
So it was on this car, and we went to Showtime Speedway, and they run different tires. Well, we were at DeSoto, and we had mismatched tires. Like we just threw a set of like 200 lap tires on the car just to go have fun. Like it kept raining, and it was when the construction was going on in Punta Gorda. They were redoing the road. And I put wider tires on, and I called the track owner. We rained out at DeSoto, and I called the track owner. I said, I have 2 cars on my way. I'm leaving DeSoto right now. I'll be in the car ready for the heat race as soon as I get there. 45 minutes from Bradenton to Clearwater over the Skyway. Hauling ass. I get there. fire suited up. I throw my helmet, my gloves and shit on. I get in the car. I strap in. I go out for the heat. I drive to the front in the heat. I started like 7th out of like 20 something cars. And I took the lead early in the race and I fell back. I knew like I couldn't win because I wasn't on correct tires. Well, I finished 4th in the race. And they DQ'd 2nd. So when they pulled me into tech, I had illegal tires.
Shit.
I was out.
Should have finished 5th, Bill.
The track owner said, whatever you do, don't finish in the top 3. So I made sure I didn't. And here we are, you know?
Bro, I know we're like a NASCAR show here, but we talk motorsports in general. And with your experience, what is the most ingenious thing you did to make the car go faster that no one knew about? That was the fucking key to it.
In all honesty, there really wasn't a lot. So,
well, let's put it this way. You've also pit crewed for cars too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fast cars. So not necessarily maybe it has to be something that you had on one of your cars, just in general. Let's put it that way.
So one of the biggest things that came in, honestly, when I was running trucks. So
fucking Tristan, he put a lighter driver in the car.
Short track racing, left side weight matters, bro. It don't matter. None of that shit.
The heavier you are, the better you are.
So one big thing that came in was a limiter. So you limited the travel in the rear end. So what you did was you took a chain and you put a chain on the rear end of the chassis, and then you adjusted your jack screws to the limit of the chain. So basically what you were doing, you were not letting the chassis travel. So going in the corner, instead of the weight transfer going up and all the weight going to the front of the car and creating a push, the truck would stay perfectly level all the time. And it would just give you the bite because you were always on that spring. So no matter when you hit the gas, it was there and reacted. There was no in between.
You weren't chasing the rear end the whole time.
Yeah. And the biggest thing I can tell you, like when I started racing 4-cylinders in 2010, dude, we showed up with a car, put air in the tires. Like I'm not bullshitting you, bro. Like literally we would show up, set the air pressure to the same pressure every single week, and I would go out and run up front. It was that easy. When we built this car here, I had to really learn what caster, camber, gearing, all that meant. Like everybody says racing is a bunch of dumb rednecks. 100%. No bullshit. We're a bunch of dumb rednecks.
Let me just tell you the stereotype.
But I tell all my friends who say that, come spend a weekend at the racetrack with me. And the amount of shit that runs through your head trying to set one of these cars up, no matter what you're racing. Dude, it could be a go-kart. It could be a 4-cylinder. It could be one of these. The shit that you have to know to go out and be competitive and be fast every week. Like there is no show up, ride around and bullshit and catch a win. Like when I was running with these guys, I was running with the best of the best. You know, these guys have been running that division for 15, 20 years. And I showed up as somebody that nobody really knew and started winning. You know, it's just like a lot of times it's who you have in your corner guiding you in the right direction. I had a lot of people guide me on this. Like I said in a post on Facebook this week, James D'Elia, big dog, passed away. Dude, he was huge. Like this car is actually, this photo is taken in a field at his shop. And it was showing off. This is like brand new, first time the car would probably roll out for a race. And we didn't screw around. Like when your shit was in his shop, you were fast or you weren't going. Like if you didn't think you were there for a win, keep that shit on the trailer, work on it, and we'll show up next week.
I don't think the average viewer understands that every turn of a wrench changes 20 different things on the car.
100%.
So, you could change one thing to make the drive better or, to make the car quicker.
And the biggest thing about it too is like a quarter turn of something, like a quarter turn of a bolt is.
You're now changing 20 other things to make up for it.
And it could be a matter of a half a second on the racetrack. You know?
Right.
So it's so like there's percentages. You have to know your percentages and numbers. Like I don't want to bore everybody and get into the short track deal. We'll dedicate a weekend when we got an off week and we can sit here and bullshit. I'll bring some buddies on. Like, let me tell you, we can have a hell of a show with my short track buddies. We probably have to have a censor button ready for a couple.
Yeah.
but like when I tell you like short track racing is different, I love NASCAR to death. NASCAR's been in my life forever, but there's nothing like going to a local short track, and it's changed a lot throughout the years, but there's nothing like
It's become so
going,
commercialized now.
it's about money. That's the biggest thing. You know, you buy rides, everybody's renting rides, nobody's working on their own shit. They got crew chiefs for everything. Like, as a little guy in circle track racing, I can tell you, I go to the track with my buddy Garrett, and there's 4 of us working on his truck. That's it. We're running with teams who have 10 and 15 guys working on these local short track cars for $1,500 to win.
Yeah, you guys are the group where the race is getting in the way of the beers afterwards. And these guys,
honestly, we don't even drink. Like,
no, but like, here's the analogy I'm putting up here. Like, that's your guys' portion. These guys are racing to get their check and then go to the next weekend.
Do we want to win? 100% we want to win, but it's more about the family. It's more about the hanging out with the boys. That's the shut off. You know, that's Garrett's got a baby. You know, he's got a pretty grueling job. Blaine is a mechanic for us at Dodge. He's got a pretty grueling job. Nick Neary, you know, he races, he does jewelry store stuff. Then there's me. That's the 4 of us. Like, we all go together, and most of the time, Greg Crum will be there with us, but most of the time it's just 5 buddies sitting there bullshitting. You know,
once in a while, Ron Hornaday comes out.
That was a while ago. I'm hoping to get a hold of him. I'm gonna see if I can get his number this week. I'm gonna message his wife and see if we can maybe get him on for a good chat on a weekend.
Don't we have a Texas race coming up?
I believe so. That's a sore subject, though.
I know it's a sore subject. That was brutal, though.
100%. Unnecessary.
It was,
and I'm a Kyle Busch fan. Kyle Busch has changed a lot since his accident in 2015. 100%. Different person.
Yeah. Oh,
Texas
no, we don't.
isn't there
Texas
for the trucks anymore.
Well, fuck it. I guess we don't have. Well, I'm the one who said Kansas was in this round last week, and then I'm looking at the schedule going, wait, no, the fuck it's not.
Well, then we're both looking at next year's schedule, trying to figure out what Homestead is.
Hey, this is a work in progress, damn it. That's why we're starting it right now instead of next year.
All right, let's progress this shit ahead, AJ. Let's get into a little Xfinity recap from yesterday.
You are going to have to recap the Xfinity side because I saw absolutely nothing other than a junior motorsports car dominated its way to victory lane.
That's a big story. He did a hell of a job, dude. I'm impressed by this kid. I watched him run at Sebring earlier this year with Trans Am, and just, dude, he's so smooth. He's flawless. He goes out and gets the pole in his first career start. I mean,
right.
Granted, it's a road course race, but then he goes out and leads a bunch, stays out front. So Ty Gibbs takes the lead. I don't know when it was, but Ty Gibbs takes the lead, and they're coming up through the S's, and a yellow comes out. And when the yellow comes out, Gibbs is the leader. Instead of going right through the bus stop, went straight. And second place and third place followed him, which was Zilich and Sam Mayer. That is technically shortcutting the course, whether the yellow flag was out or not. They got a end of the line penalty.
And the Freddie Kraft tweet on it. Hey, at Connor, there's a hard right at the end of the front straightaway. You're welcome.
But I mean, it turned in like I ended up leaving with, I don't know. There's a red flag with a bunch to go because somebody, not going to mention any names, Austin Hill, Arca braked a friggin' wreck, knocked the friggin' oil cooler out, and then decides, hey, let me just drive all the way around the racetrack from turn 2 and oil down the whole track instead of just oiling down that area.
I saw a tweet last night, and maybe it was this morning, but they were talking about it's just so I know I'm pronouncing the name right. Zilich, right?
Zilich, Connor Zilich.
Connor Zilich. It said the impressive thing about Zilich is he doesn't have much experience in these cars. And yesterday he never bobbled, never wiggled through any of the corners. It was just smooth. Going back to what you said, he's just smooth.
The only mistake he made was that one following Ty Gibbs. And it was one of those, like, even Ty Gibbs on the radio said he should have known better. You know, it's just he wasn't thinking, and it was easier to get slowed down going straight, gather everybody back up right there, and go on. They were at a bad point. Did you see the replay of it?
I didn't catch any of it.
So the yellow came out, and they were literally at a point where they were turning into the bus stop. But
Okay.
it wasn't that they were committed yet. So if they heard yellow, they probably backed it up, and it was easier just to stay straight than jerk the car back to the right. I'm not defending him by any means. A rule's a rule. I understand, but kind of a mixed bag on that one. I mean,
I'm trying to
yellow.
I'm trying to find the highlight of it. But I'm sitting here, and of course, you go through NASCAR and NASCAR on Fox YouTube pages, and they just want to show you 15-minute highlights, or they want to show you the 30 seconds of the last lap, and it's like, Jesus. Yeah, I can't find it.
Let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on.
I can't find it. But everything I saw was that he was just perfect yesterday. Besides that one moment, just perfect.
Absolutely.
God damn, he is a good little driver. 7 months ago at the Grand Prix of Big Machine Music City. What's that, Nashville, I'm imagining?
Yeah.
That's all up your neck of the woods type.
He's got like Rolex 24 wins and everything.
And he's young. That's the thing. He's young.
Yeah. Just, I mean, 100% all around natural talent. Just,
oh boy, Lawless Allen highlight popped up while I'm searching for it.
All right.
You got it?
Oh, hold on.
What's up, buddy?
I'm new to this presenting thing. Hold on. There's...
You got it. I know you can do it. Oh, shoot. No, wrong thing. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted right there. Excuse me.
So yellow out? I mean, I guess they had plenty of time. I thought it was closer.
And
but then they didn't stop.
No, they didn't stop. That is crazy. Yeah, no, that's a penalty. Of course, Sam Mayer followed.
Pretty unreal, though. I mean, you think about it. That's probably one of the strangest penalties I've seen in a little while.
Well,
I mean, it's a penalty nonetheless, but not something I've seen in quite a bit.
Trying to see. So Zilich led the most laps with 45.
SVG was up there quite a bit. Dinger was up
led
there.
14. William Byron led 16 laps.
So it ended up coming down to a fuel mileage run at the end. And Zilich, like I think it was the top four were like, if they had another green, white checker, they were done. Like they were out of fuel. And SVG was the one that had the most, I think, at fifth. And then the red flag came out for that Austin Hill wreck and all. Well, I mean, it wasn't Austin Hill. It was a ton of people piled in. And then, SVG, dude, if I'm on the SVG train 100%, Tristan, like I'm in because he's impressed the hell out of me. I mean, I understand these cars are probably like
comment before.
I just saw it. I didn't see it.
Oh, dude, I'm tough to get behind Ty Gibbs after he wrecked his teammate. What was it at Daytona?
Yep.
And then proceeded to do the biggest burnout you've ever seen.
Hold on. Didn't Austin Hill do the same thing?
Oh, no. But listen to
but hold on. You can't get behind him because you wrecked his teammate, but you could be a Shane Hill fan.
It's not the wrecking the teammate part. It's the fact that, like, okay, you wrecked a teammate, just keep it calm, pull into victory lane. Don't do this big extravagant burnout. Like that dude burned the entire thing down after just completely destroying one of his own teammates.
What's he there to do though?
You're there to win, but read the room. I mean,
when you put your helmet on, there are no friends, there are no teammates.
Well,
I mean, I understand there are teammates in NASCAR like that, but at the same time, every race, I can guarantee you, these guys are not worrying about what their teammates are doing all day long.
when your name is on the when your last name
Don't matter.
is on the shop building,
I don't think it matters.
you got to read the room.
Got
to read the room, man.
I don't think it matters. Honestly, I really don't. I'm not a Ty Gibbs fan whatsoever.
But I also think like the story behind Ty Gibbs is pretty cool. I give him
credit.
His road from Xfinity to Cup, like it's a cool. It's a sad story, but a cool story.
He was a punk ass kid back in the day. I'll tell you that 100%.
You have experience with Ty?
When he first started, he was on iRacing with us all the time racing. And he was just a punk ass mouthy kid. Like one of those, like, my last name's going to get me everywhere I want to be.
Gotcha.
100%. Like no bullshit. Like I give him credit. The kid is a friggin' wheelman, dude. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with once he calms down, but that's what it's going to take for him to do
it. Tristan, fuck off. You and me are different. I think him burning it down after that is great.
I don't think he's wrong.
I just think in certain situations, you got to read the room. I mean, look at Austin Dillon. Wrecks 2 cars at Richmond and then again proceeds to do the biggest burnout you've ever seen. Roll the Dave Chappelle clip. Fuck him. Results from yesterday. I'm just going to go through the top 5. Zilich, Creed, Allmendinger, Smith, and SVG were your top 5 yesterday.
And they were pretty much class of the field.
Old Austin Hill finished 33rd. Josh
Ark.
Williams, 32nd.
All Ark are breaking Austin. Josh Williams actually had a really good run going and got turned in a wreck and I think he knocked a wheel off or something.
Who is R.C. Anderson?
R.C. who?
R.C. Anderson finished 27th.
Let me look. Hold on.
I don't know who the hell that is.
Never heard of her.
Are running though. Almirola finished 26th. Ty Gibbs 25th.
Lucas Oil School of Racing Chevrolet. No clue.
Dude.
So Thomas Annunziata, finishing in 29th, actually had to get out of the car because of heat exhaustion. So he didn't have a cool shirt, and apparently it was pretty warm there yesterday.
Little toasty in Watkins Glen.
Yeah, and his hose kept falling off his cold air for his helmet, so he got overheated, and car owner Joey Gase got in the car to finish out. But a lot of guys at the back had a good run going. I mean, Alfredo was up front. Sieg got wrecked. Kyle Sieg. Ryan Sieg got wrecked, but he finished 23rd. Gibbs ran out of fuel with like 4 or 5 to go. That's why he's back there.
Shout out Josh Balicki finishing 10th.
Yeah, he had a good run.
Parker Kligerman announced this week that he's not doing full-time racing starting next year. Finished 7th.
He had a rough go yesterday, too. His car wouldn't stay in 4th. So he actually finished up front with just having 3 gears in the car. He said it was revving out down the straightaways and stuff more than he would have liked, but he was still staying with everybody. So
Joey Logano finishes 9th in a car that Haley Deegan would have wheeled to a 36th place finish.
See, I don't agree with you there. I don't think anybody really has ever had any good runs in their car. I don't.
9th.
It's also a road course, though.
Yeah, I mean, I trust me, I get it.
But you put him in at you put him in at Pocono, you put Barry in wherever. Nobody's ever finished good. That team's not good. I'm not a Haley Deegan fan. I'm not a on the bus. I'm not a fangirl. I'm not a simp. Let's say it that way. You know.
Bro, what's funny?
I think if she got a fair chance in a good car, I think she would do something worth.
I think that goes for everybody, though. Unless you're Corey LaJoy taking over Chase Elliott's ride last year. And we'll get into Corey LaJoy here in the next part where we recap the Cup Series. Because I don't know if that guy doesn't have a spotter or his headset turned in. But I don't know how the fuck you leave pit road. You're 3 wide on the inside, and you just drive it like you're going to the grass.
Dude, every week it's getting worse and worse. And dude, I love Corey. Like he's one of my favorites. I'm really sad that he's leaving, and really I haven't heard any plans. I mean, I've heard something that could possibly be coming in, that he could be at Rick Ware.
Fucking chances.
I've been told it's a swap between him and Justin Haley.
I could see it.
With the 7-car getting more Hendrick backing, because Haley is technically signed to Hendrick Motorsports.
See, the thing with Corey, and Corey's not a back marker. He's a middle of the pack guy.
Yeah, I'd say he's a 10th to 25th.
But
front,
you look at,
I'd call that front to middle, like front to middle of the pack.
You look at your seasoned veteran back marker guys, your BJ McLeods, and when they're slower, they roll over for everybody. Corey's going to sit there and race 3 laps down like he's racing for the lead when they come around.
Morgan Shepherd, Joey Logano.
And it's just like, dude, know your place, I guess.
It's one of those, like, I understand they're racing for every position. Like, every position matters money-wise to them. But at the same time, I'll say it time and time again, it's when you're having a good day, you're having a good day. When you're having a bad day, you're having a bad day. Take what you can get, ride around, get lapped, just get the fuck out of the way.
Just get the fuck out of the way.
I mean, that's the easy way to put it. I mean, you know, just if you're a lap car and you have any altering in some form of the top 10 in the race, say you wreck and you take somebody out in the top 10, you should be parked right there no matter what.
Yeah.
If you're multiple laps down. I'm not saying 1 lap down, battling for your lead lap back, you know, shit like that. I'm saying you're 4 or 5 laps down, you go in there, haul off and wreck somebody in 5th or 6th that's having a good run, park it. You're done. That's it.
David Starr, anybody?
100%.
Was that Gregson at Homestead, right? David Starr running the top, the preferred line. Gregson's coming with like a 4-second, 5-second lead with 3 to go. It just parks it in the corner.
Now, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Elliott Sadler at Homestead with Ryan Preece.
Yeah.
Cost Elliott Sadler the championship. But here's what I'm not mad about. Preece was on the lead lap though when that was going on.
Right. Right.
They're racing. If you're racing for position, it's different. Championship leaders should not get special treatment, no matter what. That is why 100% off the record, I hate the chase, because they get special treatment. Those 16 guys, they want everybody to basically move over for them. Nah, fuck them.
There's a reason those championship 4 cars are always running towards the front come that weekend.
Right. But like, I'm not a believer in move over.
And you'll never see any of those cars get DQ'd unless it's something super egregious.
Denny Hamlin.
Bro,
an inspection tag.
Bro, the funniest Hamlin thing was when he won Pocono. And I think it was him first, Kyle Busch second. And they both found tape underneath the wrap. They were inspecting it. Like, that was an in-depth review on that one.
But no, that was, I mean, the Xfinity turned into a pretty decent show yesterday. I'm pretty excited about today, though. Chastain on the pole, which tells me his little bit of road racing he's been doing, helping him out.
Yeah, you want me to go through the starting lineup?
Yeah, go ahead. He's been doing that SCCA stuff, too. Or not SCCA, Trans Am.
We got the front row with Ross Chastain and MTJ. MTJ is going to be good here.
MTJ is always good there. Remember when he was with Waltrip? Even Earnhardt, he was always strong.
This is his chance to make it to the next round, and I think he's still above the cut line, but not by much. SVG, Bowman, row 2, Cindric, Allmendinger, Logano, Suarez, Gregson, McDowell. Good job for Gregson, man.
I'm really hoping he can put a good run together. Like,
I'm disappointed in McDowell's qualifying effort, because that dude's been on a tear, and this is one of his like premier tracks, like style of racing.
See, you know what though? He never really runs good here. He's always good at Sonoma. He's always good at the Roval. He's always good at Coda. But if you think about it, look back to Watkins Glen. He's never really been that decent here. This is where he struggles.
Let's see here. I'm on Racing Reference. I just want to look up average finish. Jeez, Chase has classed the field with average finish at road courses. Where's McDowell? McDowell's an average finish of 21.4, but he's always at the front.
I mean, now though.
Yeah.
You got to remember, he ran for
not
Waltrip. He ran for
not taken into effect.
that 95 car he ran. I mean, he really, until he got with this car, I don't honestly think he ever really got a fair shot.
I'm looking at like just different stats.
And even then, I don't think this car's even a fair shot.
Poor Sed made the list. So where were we on the lineup?
I'll continue here. We're at 11th. You stopped at McDowell. So then we got 11, William Byron, Chase Briscoe, 12th, Kyle Busch in 13th, Chase Elliott, 14th, Ty Gibbs, 15th, Reddick, 16th, C. Bell, 17th, LaJoy, 18th, which this is big because there's some big names behind him here.
Oh, yeah.
Zane Smith, 19th, Larson, 20, Priest, 21, Hamlin, 22,
He just needs
Dylan
12 points today.
to lock in.
No, I'm just saying with a 22nd place starting position for
Oh.
Hamlin today, it must be because he needs like 12 points or something like that.
Yeah. And then you got Dylan, Busher, Jones, Stenhouse, Hemrick, Keselowski, Hocevar, Blaney back there as well. Barry, Wallace, Burton, Juan Pablo Montoya,
Look out, jet dryers.
John Hunter Nemechek, Justin Haley, Todd Gilliland, and Kaz Gralla. Sad to see Sad to see Gilliland back there, man. He's been having good runs.
He was running really well last weekend.
I think he just struggles on the road course shit. I mean, he's pretty decent lately, seems on the ovals.
I think you got a lot of guys back there who just struggle at road courses. I mean, just naturally, right? Like naturally.
Hey, look at the last comment.
Like that, my freshman year Spanish teacher. Tristan, you're too much, man.
I've missed you, buddy.
There's
Good to
some
see you
problems with
around.
that boy. I get to meet him next week though, like in person for the first
Yeah?
time. Yeah, he going to Bristol.
That's
He going Bristol.
cool.
What are we gonna do to get you to fly out there, Phil?
To what, Bristol?
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Oh, well, we tried.
I told you the only race, if I can swing it this year, I'm going to Homestead. I've got some shit I want to do coming up. I want to put some weekends together and go to some of the tracks that are within driving distance. I want to do Atlanta. I want to do let's see. I want to do Wilkesboro 100%. Like that's on the old bucket list.
Wilkesboro would be cool. The problem is there's just like such limited seating.
Yeah.
It's tough to get tickets to.
All right, so we hit on the Zillage thing winning yesterday. We hit the all the starting stuff. What do you want to talk about? You want to go into Denny's strategy from last week and hit on that?
Dude,
or you want
I
to
think
move
we
on?
kind of covered that. It just
I mean, that was about all it was. He rode around, he got wrecked. That was it.
it was boneheaded, man.
30th and worse did not work.
No, that was brutal, man.
But I was wondering how much of that was Denny riding and how much of that was the car just was that bad.
They unloaded slow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just unloaded slow, man. It wasn't good. Just wasn't good.
So then we've got
it's a bad weekend all around for Denny. I mean, these are the tracks that you expect him to run up front at, and just you kind of know your weekend's already over as soon as you unload.
And in all honesty, I don't think he's got a good track coming up. Bristol, he's
good.
Has he been good in the next gen car though?
Yeah, that was last year.
That's right.
Remember,
That's
I beat your favorite driver.
Yeah.
Which one? All of them.
All right. Well, I'm going to take Denny to pick Bristol next week then. He won the night that I was there, that night that I was talking about with Tony Stewart throwing the helmet. He won that night. And he did Every time he won back then, that was when he did the wobble with the fans, dude. He came out on the front stretch after every win and did the wobble. Swear to God, no bullshit. I was there for the celebration, me and my wife.
That's fucking wild. Did the wobble.
So Bristol's cool. I don't know if they still do it, but they used to. Like after the truck race and shit, an Xfinity race, they used to open the front gate and you had permission to be within the pit wall in the front stretch.
Oh, no shit.
And drivers would come out and stand on the pit wall and sign autographs and shit.
Okay, well, I'm hoping that's a fucking thing this time around.
There's a picture of me. I did it after a truck race one night. Okay. I mean, I didn't have passes or nothing. This was when me and my wife went 12 years ago. We were just
find out some intel on that one.
Get you one of the moonshine drinks too.
I was hearing about those.
They come in a mason jar, bro. Oh yeah.
Spot on, huh?
Oh yeah.
I'll be drinking beer for sure.
Look up a place called Cooter Brown's.
I don't know if I want to look up a place called that.
It's a restaurant, dude. It's good. It's right down the road.
We do have Vince's picks we got to get to too.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that right now, and then we'll roll into just some random shit we want to hit on.
Yeah, so he's picking SVG.
While you're doing Vince's picks, I'm gonna step away real quick.
You can step away. He is taking SVG at plus 525 odds. Kyle Larson at plus 700. Ross Chastain at plus 750. Those odds are on Hard Rock Bet. The SVG and Ross ones are solid. They're starting toward the front. The Larson one's interesting that he would have plus 700 odds are still high, but he's the third favorite and he's starting all the way in the back. So like you got good odds on guys that are starting closer to the front.
Hey, why don't you give us a breakdown real quick of who Vince is, just so everybody knows?
Yeah, I think it's Vince Brent 4 on Twitter now. It depends on which account he's on now because he kept getting suspended last year. But Vince is it's Vince Brent forever on Twitter. Big time NASCAR bettor, sits there and sends me his bet slips after he wins and all that. Tristan calls him Handsome Vince. Vince helped me make a decent stockpile of money in my Hard Rock app to start the year. Kind of faltered off mid-year. He stopped doing it because he was losing several weeks in a row, but he's doing the picks for our show. So go give him a follow on Twitter at Vince Brent Forever. I'll see him next week. I'll see Tristan next week. I'll see some of the LTC boys next week.
Never met Vince, but I follow him, and just like I might even be friends with him on Facebook, but like just his photos of his travels are worth like following him and stuff. Like his trips are fantastic.
Here's a Vince story for you from this year. So 500 gets rained out. They call it early Sunday. I get a text from Vince, and I'd love to go back and look it up so I could tell you like exactly what he said. But I get a text at like 9, 10 o'clock that night, and he lives in Tennessee. He goes, "Hey man, I just picked up tickets for real cheap to the 500 tomorrow." And I go, "Yeah, you coming down?" "Yep, currently on the road." I get a text from him at like noon the next day. We're standing out in the Midway. "Hey man, coming over the People crossover." Like, bro drove straight through the night to get to Daytona for the 500 this year just because it was rained out and tickets were going cheap because people couldn't come back the next day. Like, that dude, if he can make a race, he's going.
He's just a race fan. I just followed him like through you. I think you shared something by him one day or something. And I went through it. I was like, man, this guy, like his betting stuff, like I'm not a bettor. I've never really tried, in all honesty. But like I follow it, I like to see the odds. Like as a fan, I like to see who everybody's betting on. Like today, if I had a pick, my pick would be Dinger, 100%.
Who would I pick today? This is tough. This is tough because I don't want to be a homer.
And I'm really like, I like Dinger's driving. I don't like.
I would probably take Truex today.
My opinion on him is it's one of those things where he's gotten so many shots, and I don't think I've seen anything worth being in Cup out of him.
I'm picking Boris, Bob, or Haas said all day, every day, probably win the championship too. A former WWE Intercontinental Champion. Fun story about him is he tag team with, I believe, Jeff Hardy on the indie circuit. So if you didn't know, Vince was a former indie wrestler, yeah.
I think I saw that on his page one day.
Yeah.
Because I have other friends in common with him who are actual like indie wrestlers.
Bro, he did a match with Sabu. You know.
That dude's insane. Old parachute pan ass.
Bro, Sabu's the definition of don't give a fuck.
No, Sandman, bro.
Sandman too. I mean, Tommy Dreamer one day was gonna kill Paul Heyman in the middle of the ring, like literally, like legitimately was gonna do it. He was battling some demons then, though. That's a long story for another day.
We might have to start a wrestling show now. So I'm in church this morning. Funny story. I'm in church this morning, and they
every
like
good story starts with I was in church this morning.
So our pastor's very fun, very like he likes to give props where it's known. So we have security on hand during every service. We have police on hand at every service. So the cop today, they show a picture of him. And when I tell you I started dying laughing, I'm not bullshitting you, bro. I was dying. Swear to God, I thought it was Sergeant Slaughter. 100% thought it was
Listen
Sergeant
here,
Slaughter.
maggot.
And we get out of church and we're across the street and we're all standing. There's my mom, my dad, my mother, father-in-law, my wife, my kids, Ian, and my buddy Brent. We all go together. And we were standing there and I was like, dude, he's sitting up there. And all I could do was laugh because all I saw was this. And I showed it to my father-in-law. And he's like, oh my God, who is that guy? And I was like, that's a professional wrestler, Sergeant Slaughter. I was like, that's him, dude, on the screen. I'm telling you. And he's like, send me that so I can send it to Pastor. And I was like, yeah, dude.
Bro, leave it to me with 3 minutes left in the show to forget that I didn't have the background music playing this whole time. There's always something on this show.
All right, so I'm going Dinger. You're going Truex this week.
Mm-hmm. Who's your shit the bed pick?
This week?
Yeah, just shits the bed.
Juan Pablo Montoya?
No, he's already done that. The qualifying's over.
In all honesty, I think we're going to see a little drama today.
Yeah?
I think we're going to see some shit happen here. With the way they did the curbs now and moving the curbs over, I think it's gonna create a little shitstorm.
Well, I think Hamlin's shit in the bed today.
Starting 22nd.
He's trekking down.
I don't know, dude. You get a lot of. Oh, my facts. So, back in 1991, J.D. McDuffie died. Going into just past where the bus stop is now.
Mm-hmm.
So did you know that in 1998, a driver had to park and get out of his car because he saw the ghost of J.D. McDuffie standing in that corner?
I did not know the ghost story. I knew the J.D. McDuffie story, but I did not know the ghost story.
So in 1998, during practice at Watkins Glen, where did it go? Here it is. Bobby Hillen Jr. said he saw the ghost in the exact spot where JD died. Nobody else saw anything, so everybody pretty much wrote it off as Bobby Hillen be tripping, and they moved on.
No kidding.
I found that on Reddit this week. I found a YouTube video,
bro,
and then I found it on Reddit shortly after.
I'm scrolling Reddit, and it's talking about this story, and it just basically starts off with, remember when J.D. McDuffie's ghost appeared in Watkins Glen in 1998? Reddit user JD McDuffie can confirm.
That's the post I'm on right now, bro.
People, JD.
Yeah, and then that's where I got the quote. If you go down,
Yeah,
like a
that's
couple
the
of
quote.
comments.
Yeah.
Bobby be tripping and moved on. But I'm gonna try to find a fun little fact, something like that about like different tracks or different drivers and stuff, little known stuff that we could throw out every week and put out there. So
Wait,
next
is that
week,
a true story?
What?
The time when Dale Earnhardt rode a motorcycle around the night of Indianapolis Speedway in 95 after his win, he was freaked out, wanted to get off the track immediately after he claimed seeing ghosts of drivers in the track who fatally died from accidents.
Tony Stewart said similar in an interview before. Didn't see anyone, but empty garages sound like teams working on cars.
That's wild. If that's true, that's wild.
I mean, this goes into another story that was from that same YouTube video about the Indian burial ground at Talladega. You know that one?
I do know that one.
Where they heard voices and shit.
Jeff Bodine says that when he saw his dad during his Truck Series crash in 2000, was told, quote, "It's not your time." Jeez.
Dale Jr. getting pulled out of the car.
I've always believed that. Every time I've heard Junior say that he felt like he was pulled out of the car,
go back and watch that video, bro. It looks like somebody is holding him under his arms when he's climbing out of the car.
Have you seen the I think it was a picture of the Larson crash at Daytona, where it looks like the ghost of Earnhardt sitting on the wall?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking it up so I can present it before we get off here, because that was the wild one.
So while you're looking that up, let me keep us rolling here. So you're heading to Bristol this week. What are you looking forward to?
We are going to. I'm looking forward to not just so much the race itself, just being there with buddies and all that. Like, that's going to be the cool part of it all, especially being so far away from home, essentially, that you're all there for the same thing. People that you've been seeing, conversing with, that's what I'm looking forward to.
That's the cool thing about having an internet hobby, I would say.
Yeah.
Put it the best way. iRacing, I know so many people that I've absolutely never met. I mean, Dylan, my buddy's in Canada. Yeah, we got friends all over. Tristan, I've never met. There's so many people that literally you talk to on an almost daily basis that these guys know. We talk more in our group chats than we do to people in real life sometimes.
Bro, for sure. For sure.
But that's what I like about the fan base in NASCAR is everybody has differing opinions, but we could all come together and get along. For the most part. I mean, I like to beat the shit out of some people. We won't go there right now.
Bro, I was looking for that picture and I couldn't find it, but I did find one of my favorite NASCAR pictures that obviously isn't real. It's just cool to see.
The one with it photoshopped into the wall, into the sky?
No. That one.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of my favorite pictures. Because that Junior that night was passing people no draft. That car was cheated up.
Go back to that picture real quick. Look at the dip in the nose in the center.
On Junior's or on Benson's?
On Junior's. Right in the center of the nose. It looks like it goes lower, doesn't it?
A little bit, but it looks like the body line of a Monte Carlo. I mean, I see what you're talking about, but if you look at Benson's, that front part between the bumper and the hood slants down like they did it on a Grand Prix.
I think it's easier to see on Junior's car because the nose is white, but on Benson's, where I'm talking is where that
flat.
Orange stripe is on the bottom. So look at the front valence on Benson's car and then look at Junior's car. Doesn't it look like the center kind of hangs down?
What you're saying. Fun story about that. Did you know that Budweiser got pissed off with Junior because of the skull and crossbones on the in-car camera?
No.
They said that to them, skull and crossbones meant poison, and being that he was sponsored by Budweiser, they thought that it was going to give off the response of Budweiser as poison.
So, like, I was watching some videos this week of, like, little-known racing wrecks, too. That's when I watched, and a lot of them were testing crashes, and it took me back to the back in the day when everybody would roll out with, like, a primer gray car with, like, a bright orange number on it, and that was it.
Right.
But there was some crazy ones, bro. We'll have to put in. I'll bring it up for next week's show. I'll put a little dip in. It's fresh on my mind. So just so everybody knows, I'll give you a little heads up. We are filming for next week since AJ is leaving Tuesday. So whatever news we will have is whatever comes out between today and tomorrow, basically.
Yeah, we are going to record that one tomorrow, so we might miss some news this week. But a show will be put up nonetheless.
Yeah, we'll have a show. We'll talk about today. We'll talk about
Dude, I'm trying to find the fucking in-car of this, just so I can have it go with the story.
Tristan said he sees it too. It's got a dip in the bottom of the nose, like a hump in the center.
It does have a dip in the nose. I'm not saying that
And I mean, it could be the way the picture looks. I don't know. It looks like the center of the nose is like 2 inches shorter than the outside of the nose to me.
I'm actually going through a full race replay of that race, and Britney Spears, Grand Marshal. Back when it was Britney, bitch. Oh, that's funny. Man, I'm
Lots of big things coming up, though. We got Bristol, so we got... What do we got? Trucks Wednesday, or are they Thursday this week?
Trucks are Thursday, Xfinity's Friday. Dale Jr. in the field.
You got modifieds this week, too, or no?
Modifieds I've heard of this week as well,
So
yeah.
modifieds will probably be Thursday, so you got Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So here's something I've been thinking of. I'm going to get with you, and I don't care if we do it for this season, but if we roll into this for next season for February, you know what we should get? We should get a Discord room.
I'm all for that.
Have like a, every chance we get, if we're free during the race, we have a Discord room. We can all get together, BS, come up with ideas. Everybody just sit there and bullshit. I mean, I know Tristan would be there. He's always there.
Tristan's always around.
Yeah. That's my boy. But no, everybody, we'll, what else you got? Anything? Or are we done?
Dude. No, I don't got... I got
Good.
nothing. I'm trying to fucking find this fucking thing. It's pissing me off that I can't find it. I know I've seen it.
I'm just excited. Bristol's one of my favorites. I'm always looking forward to it. I just hope it turns into a battle and not a single car ride around session.
I don't think it's going to be that. I did find it, I think.
This music in the background reminds me of Charlie Brown, bro. Womp, 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 womp. Listen to it, dude. Sounds like Charlie Brown.
Bro, someone on Twitter got me.
Who got you?
I don't know. In a response of a thread. And of course, it won't fucking save my computer right, so I'm going to have to share my screen. Let me take this down. There it is. Budweiser got pissed off with that.
Oh. Wow. Didn't he run that, like, instead of having numbers on his test car one time, he had a skull and crossbones or something?
Bro, he might have, but it was like a junior thing, because I remember several of his cars having that.
He was always known for the black with the skulls, like his helmets, everything. I mean, that's
Junior's coolest
Dale
helmet,
Jr.
and I stand by it, was his old 8-ball helmet.
Hold on.
Oh.
Give me just a minute. I've got something on my porch. Hold on.
Phil's got some.
Hold on. I just found it. I'm going to dip out for a minute because my headset's going to go away.
No, you're good. You're good. But the tweet from Junior on all that was when they re-aired it for the first time. Pay close attention to the skull crossbone sticker on the dash. At Budweiser was none too happy we put that there.
So this right here,
Let me take this off the screen.
my dad was a big Dale fan, and this came out. This is my dad's welding helmet.
Jeez. And you have it just sitting on your porch?
It's dirty. Well, I mean, that's where all my racing stuff is, but it's got like airbrushed effects and all sorts.
Bro, that's cool as shit.
Yeah, this is the 8-ball, dude.
That was his coolest helmet.
Right there.
The 8-ball was
It's
cool
all
as shit.
Yeah, it's all in it. So this was so it's on the top. It's hard to see because of the lighting and stuff, but there it is.
Yeah. Fuck, that's
So
cool.
my dad's got this is shit, I can't tell you. This thing's probably 20 years old, dude, but like that's where my back porch is where all my shit is. I don't have a garage. I'm basically sitting in the garage. The garage was made into my master bedroom. So everything's on a shelf on the back porch, safe as it can be.
Bro, you know what I never realized? You remember when Junior ran the Exalta car in his final race? Looked like his first car?
The red and black one.
His helmet was a modern day 8-ball helmet with 88 instead of an 8.
No, really?
Hang on, I'll pull that one up. Hopefully this one saves and I can actually present it because it's being a motherfucker right now.
Tristan, I agree. I hope we get some anger Saturday. It's been a while since we've had a good old slobber knocker. I want to see a good throwdown.
Why is this? My computer is saving stuff is such a fucking...
Is it saving it as a WebP file?
No, a JF5F.
Just see the little magnifying glass down in the bottom corner of your screen?
Yeah.
You click that and hit snipping tool. You highlight it, and
I can
it makes
do
it
that.
JPEG. I mean, I'm just telling you, I know all the shortcuts, bud.
I know
Take
all
the
the
easy way out.
I know all the shortcuts. Okay, I got it that time. This will be the last thing for today. There's the helmet.
Hold on, I'll be right there. I walked away for just a second.
That is a cool helmet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like that.
That open face was such a cool look.
Dude, that skeleton up top is... Oh.
It's on the new one, too. If you look...
Yeah, I see it.
Enough, it's there, too.
Bro,
but the matte one was cool, too, in of itself, Tristan.
I like the matte one.
The matte one was cool. It was simple, not much going on. It was just... Again, it was something that fit Junior at that time. It just... You saw that helmet, you knew it was Junior.
Uh-huh. So I had 2 helmets that were ever customized in my couple years of racing. I had a white helmet that I took to my buddy and he wrapped it like a Dolphins helmet. So I had straight down the middle. It had the green and orange stripe all the way down, had the logos, all the placed logos, like the NFL logos and everything were spot on to a Dolphins helmet. I had that for a couple years. And that was when we sucked. So I just want you to know I'm a Dolphins fan. Okay. And then I had this one right here. So I just walked away to go get this. So this is my only custom airbrushed helmet that I own.
Oh, that's sick.
This is my dirt helmet.
I know someone who doesn't even run dirt.
I don't even run dirt. And I got a tribute to my buddy Tommy Steyer, but my buddy Joe Plottia did this. He's an airbrusher. He does a lot of body art and stuff up in Tampa, Sarasota area. But he did that for me. And basically I told him what colors I wanted and I gave him an idea. And that's what we ended up with. And I still wear it. That's my go-karting helmet. If I go-karting or something with the boys at one of the tracks and get to wear a helmet, I take that one.
Bro, the vent up top. So for the quote unquote air conditioner on it.
So
how much air comes through?
If you have the right pump, quite a bit. So the NASCAR guys, they've got they've got quite a bit of air popping through there. Like, so this is a cold air helmet. This is I think this is an impact. But this, basically, you take your hose, and when they talk about the cold air, you plug it into here, and you've got a pump that pulls air from outside the car, so you're getting fresh air, and it's in your helmet. So now you look at a lot of these guys, they're wearing the helmet skirts. So up underneath, they got the skirt. Well, then you're skirting your neck, your head, which is the most important piece, basically, to keep cool. Well, like we were talking about earlier with Annunziata, like when they showed his helmet, his hose connection was like a 1/4 inch long, so the hose wouldn't stay on. Where, I mean, you look at this one, it's an inch and a half, you know?
Yeah, it ain't moving off of that.
No, and it's grip. So the hose slips on, and then what you have is basically it's a fan. And a lot of times in NASCAR, they'll run them through a cool box, and it'll go through either dry ice or a cooler full of ice water, and it'll just pump. They're wearing a suit that basically it goes through, and it's got lines that'll go like all across their body. And the cool shirt, basically what you're doing is you're pumping cold water out of that cooler for the whole race, keeping your body temperature down. Well, when that fails or you don't have one, so in a case, I want to say, was it Kyle Petty that had his fail one time or somebody? I think it was Kyle Petty at Dover. He was Dover. But basically what happens is when that's running through, the car temperature, like if a lot of races during the summer, they'll put a thermometer in the car and show it to you. But you think it's 130 degrees in the car. Well, that water that's against your body is probably pretty damn close to that. So you're basically boiling water on your body.
That sucks.
Yeah. So the cool shirts, like, they're good, but they're bad at the same time, because if they're too cool and it's too hot out, they'll actually burn you. You'll get like a cold burn. You'll have the imprint of those tubes on your body, but it goes away. I mean, a lot of late model guys run them down here during the summer months when it's super hot.
Dude, there should be no racing here in the summer.
No, even right now hot, during the day it's rough.
Fuck, don't I know it.
But now, everybody, appreciate everyone again. Episode 2. Yes,
sir. Make sure you follow Clean Air Show. Facebook, YouTube. Follow us.
Anybody wants to shoot us ideas, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, look us up. Shoot me messages. I'm always open for ideas of stuff you guys want us to hint at, talk at, funny stuff you know about NASCAR, little known facts, whatever. Shoot us messages. We'll feature you on here. Hell, if you want to talk, like Tristan wants to come on and BS one weekend, that could be dangerous.
That could be very dangerous. I feel like we'd get canceled.
You should try it.
We had to fire. By the way, Tristan, I got to talk to you later about something. Tristan would get us fired. We had to kick him off GDS because he was just too much. He left on his own.
I mean, that's kind of what you thought about me, but here we are.
I did have more fear for you. I'm not going to lie.
AJ and I had a nice long conversation about censorship, and I was like, AJ, I got this, dude. We're good.
Things you can't say and can't say.
No, this is like Tristan. I said, man. I
left on my own free will. Damn it.
We talked this week. You know, how many views did we have in no time? We were at
I think we ended up
views or something total.
I think we ended up with like a total of like 170 views.
Yeah. Share it up, guys. Share it to your friends. Share it to your enemies. Share it to people you don't like.
I just want this thing to blossom.
Yeah. This could be like we've got some cool stuff. I want to get into some older stuff like we talked about. I want to bring my dad on here, dude.
Oh, your dad has stories for fucking days.
Local short track stuff, NASCAR stuff. I mean,
we'll hit that in the off season for sure.
Oh yeah,
like off season shows. Oh yeah. One of those episodes we'll get Hornaday on too.
I'll work on it in the next couple of weeks.
I think that'd be a cool one.
But everybody, thank you. Enjoy Watkins Glen. Dinger for the win today. We're going to go Dinger.
New leader, MTJ.
Overall, though, we're going to go Reddick's going to have a good run today. Denny's going to struggle. I think Larson's going to struggle.
Chase is going to struggle.
I hope Chase has a good run.
I don't think it's happening.
I don't see it happening.
I usually know after qualifying what type of weekend I'm about to have for NASCAR. But
I want to go back to road course ringer times, bro.
dude, give me Boris said sitting there getting pissy with Greg Biffle again, please.
I want to see Ambrose come back. I want
I want Robbie
Close.
Gordon for just one road course race.
But dude, there's so many. You think about Jordan Taylor. You think about some of these guys from IndyCar and stuff that could come over here and have a hell of a run on a weekend and make that a big show, dude.
It'd be fun. It'd be fun.
There's cars out there. It can be, it can happen. Stupid easy. It's just,
Hamlin might have 3 charters hanging around here for too long. All right, boys.
all right. We're gonna record tomorrow. We'll be out same time next Sunday, right? Noon. It'll go out.
Saturday. It'd be noon at Saturday.
Oh yeah, the race is Saturday.
Actually, I think I've got it scheduled for 1 o'clock. That's when it'll upload.
But yeah, anything? Shoot us messages. Shoot us on the old bird, on the old X. Give us some ideas.
Or flip us the bird. You can do that too. There you go. All right, we're out of here.
All right, man. Have a good day. We'll catch you guys later.
See you guys.